Okay, right now what we're going to do is a different variation of the arena seating, and then instead of using a loft, we're going to use a world space modifier called the PathDeform. Where I'm at this point is I've actually established the path for the actual arena seating. This is based off previous model, and then I built the stairs the same way we did the last project. I just used a spline square and built in the shapes, and I added extrude. I added 21 segments at this point on this particular object. We can make it 20 just to make it clean. The actual amount is not too important for what's going to happen, because when we add this modifier, it's going to give us a stretch tool that will allow us to actually extend this entire object across the shape of our spline. So I go in here, and what we're looking for is a world space modifier. The world space modifier means that it's effective throughout the actual world. It's actually, there's really no sub-object to this modifier. It applies to the actual object on a global level, and you'll see where that actually comes into play. It comes into the world space modifier section, which is usually at the very top, unless you're using your buttons of your modifier pull down stack list. If I go into PathDeform, not patch, but path, click on add this, and now you'll see a similar functionality to the loft, but a little bit simpler tool set. If I click pick path, it'll allow me to find the shape that I want to use this object to follow. I click on it, and it applies it like this. So let's go ahead and click on move the path, and you've got different angles here, so you can look at different ways this thing could sit. Do Z. If I flip it, I could do that, but that's backwards, and we don't want to do that. Here's the stretch. We can stretch it here, and we can also do percentage. Get that stretch here, and now we go to twist and add 90 degrees. No, that's not twist, excuse me. We want the rotation. 90 degrees. Let's see what the flip does now. Alright. Clearly, let's change percentage. Alright, so we got a different result than the previous class demonstration, but that's okay. Everything's a little bit tighter right there, so boom. And that is our loft. Now, a couple key things to remember. Since it's a world space modifier, and I let go and I want to move this object, and I have just the object selected, and I want to move it up in the Z, well, I have a problem. Right? So if I move it in the Y, I have a problem. If I move it in the X, same problem. What I got to do, here, I'll just do it this way. What I got to do is select both the shape and the object in order to move it and rotate it and do all the things I want to do to it. So that's the one thing you keep in mind. The loft, once you build it, it's an actual object. Let's go ahead and put that right back down here. So whenever you're doing this and you want to have this set up, you got to move the object and the shape. You can group them, but since I don't like groups, I'm kind of anxious to show that with you guys. But that'll work too. If you want to actually collapse this object and move forward, you have to actually go into the right click on the stack and click on collapse to. That'll make it an editable mesh, which you can convert to an editable poly. And then you'll have access to move it any way you want, and you don't need the spline shape anymore. And that's that.